Have you ever been so poor that you even had to calculate whether you could afford a bottle of water? When you fall into hardship, you begin to realize that people are not as genuine as you once thought. You start to see who turns away indifferently, who only stands and watches you struggle without a single word of concern. That is why savings are not for living a miserable life, but so that when life turns its back on you, you still have enough strength and dignity to stand firm. We do not need to live extravagantly, but we certainly must have something to rely on in times of distress. Because there is one truth when you are at your weakest, that is also when bad people will appear in great numbers. And when you are strong, everyone is good to you. So do not spend carelessly and indulgently on things that are only temporary. Money cannot buy everything, but with money you will live a bit more decently. In every person's life, the most terrifying moment is not when we face death, but when we feel ourselves falling freely down into the abyss of failure, poverty, and loneliness. The abyss is where your account balance is nothing but meaningless zeros, where the phone that used to ring non-stop suddenly becomes frighteningly silent. Most of us spend our whole lives chasing glittering spotlights, shallow praise, and illusions about our own strength, but only when your feet touch the mud at the bottom of the abyss, when hunger begins to claw at you, and the friends you once called confidants suddenly become strangely busy, only then does the world's mask truly fall. The abyss is the cruelest, yet the most truthful filter of life. It strips you of every luxury, every layer of cover, forcing you to look straight at your real self, a naked, fragile creature craving a chance to survive. Do not view this period as punishment from fate. See it as a great purification. Because only when you lose everything that was never truly yours, do you begin to find the precious things that no one can take away. The abyss will teach you that glory in smooth sailing is merely a performance, while your mettle in misfortune is the true character of who you are. Welcome to Inner Shadow, where there are truths that society does not want you to know. Accumulation, the final shield protecting human dignity. The biggest mistake of someone standing at the peak is believing that cash flow will never stop. They spend as if tomorrow will never come. They throw money into pointless pleasures, into branded items that become outdated after just one season in exchange for the admiration of strangers. But you need to understand a stark truth: accumulating is not stinginess. Accumulation is the process of building freedom for yourself. A real accumulation mechanism must be built on the principle of iron discipline: accumulate first, spend later. Every coin you keep is not merely a denomination. It is a brick building, a fortress wall that protects your family against storms. Let's analyze this mechanism more deeply. In principle, it has 3 layers of protection. The first layer is the survival fund. It is enough for you to maintain your life for at least 6 to 12 months without income. The second layer is the responsibility fund for taking care of elderly parents and your children's future. The third layer is the opportunity fund used to reinvest and create breakthroughs. If you do not have the first layer, you are walking a tightrope between 2 skyscrapers with no safety net. One small misstep from the economy, a layoff or a serious illness, is enough to push you into destitution. Not accumulating is an act of betraying your own future. It makes you vulnerable, forces you to bow your head to people you do not respect, just to earn your daily bread and clothing. When you have no savings, you have no choices. You can only accept other people's arrangements. The price of wasting money during your brightest days will be paid back with humiliation in your darkest days. When you fall into poverty, with not even a single coin for emergencies, that is when you understand the meaning of powerlessness. It is the feeling of standing at the emergency room door for your parents, your hands and feet trembling because you do not know where to find the hospital fees. It is the sad look in your small child's eyes when you cannot buy a tiny gift on their birthday. It is also the silence and reproach of your wife when the water and electricity bills are overdue, yet your wallet or your account is still empty. The earlier extravagance now becomes painful slaps across your self-respect. Not accumulating will erode your spirit in a terrifying way. It drags you into a vortex of debt where interest piles on interest. And every day you wake up, the first thing you think about is not your life goals, but who will come to collect your debt today. Poverty caused by a lack of accumulation is not only a financial problem, it is also a disease that gnaws at your thinking. It shortens your mind and your outlook. You only worry about today's meal and no longer have the mental space to plan for tomorrow. You become a slave to cash flow instead of its master. A person who does not know how to accumulate is digging their own grave with the superficial spending of the present. Money is like an extremely powerful light. It shines through the masks of social relationships. When you have money, you feel this world is full of good people. People always ready to share sweet and bitter people who call you blood brothers. But try being poor once. Poor to the point that you have to weigh every last thousand to buy a bottle of water. You will see a completely different scene. People are often not as genuine as you think. Their warmth is often proportional to the balance in your account. When you fall on hard times, many who once praised you will be the quickest to turn away. They are not just indifferent. They are afraid you will bother them, afraid you will ask to borrow money, afraid your bad luck will rub off on them. You will have to witness contempt in the eyes of those who once bowed before you. Naked mockery, indifferent acts of turning their backs will hurt you. But that is the truth. Saving money is not to live in hardship, but so that when life turns its face against you, you still have enough mettle and dignity to stand firm without having to beg for charity from people who never respected you anyway. When you are weak, vile people will appear in great numbers. They see your failure as bait to satisfy their selfishness and vileness. Only when your wallet is thick will you be calm enough to see who truly values you as a human being, rather than valuing your usefulness. The ancients were right. If you have not endured bone-piercing cold, how easily could plum blossoms release their fragrance? The most miserable period is a monstrous mirror that tears away every shiny coat of paint and lets you see through the true face of the world. When you fall into the abyss, you will recognize who dares to hold your hand in the storm and who only stands on the shore watching you sink. Those who stay beside you when the whole world turns its back are the rarest benefactors of your life. Perhaps they are the elderly parents who always keep the door open to welcome you home, the wife willing to eat instant noodles with you day after day, the close friend who does not say much but silently helps. For those who leave, you smile and thank them, because only when they disappear is there space in your life to welcome more genuine values. Days of misfortune are not the end of life. They are the starting point of a process of restructuring your own value system. When you have tasted the coldness of people's hearts and the true warmth of family, you will no longer let yourself be blinded by the false lights of flashy life. You will live more calmly because you know clearly what is real and what is fake, who deserves to be cherished and who is merely a passing traveler, not worth your attention. Awareness at the bottom of the abyss. Fewer illusions, more metal. When a career is rising, our ego often swells abnormally. We easily fall into the trap of illusion and believe all success comes from our innate talent, sometimes forgetting external factors, support from others, or even luck. When you hit bottom, all those illusions will be smashed without mercy. You are forced to admit that you are just an ordinary person, can fail, can make foolish mistakes. The abyss teaches you to be less indulgent, less wasteful, and less reckless. You learn to treasure every small coin because you understand how much sweat and tears it costs. You begin to look back at past mistakes, moments of losing control in anger, trusting the wrong people, making investments without calculation. Failure forces you to train your will to learn persistence and patience. You will be less hasty because you understand a solid house cannot be built in one day, and a brilliant life cannot be restored overnight. This process makes you more mature, better at listening, and better at recognizing those who are truly more important than yourself. You misjudge people less because now you see life through painful experience instead of naive eyes. This is the stage where you are tempered in the furnace of hardship to become a sharper sword. To escape the abyss, you need a plan that is practical to the point of ruthlessness, not empty advice. The first step must be to stop the bleeding stop-loss. Be ruthlessly honest about your financial situation and your life. Do not try to maintain a glamorous appearance when your wallet is already empty. Immediately cut all unnecessary expenses, cancel premium services, move to cheaper housing, sell assets that do not create value to generate working capital. Next, face your debts. Do not avoid creditors, because avoidance only increases psychological pressure and destroys the last of your credibility. Make a detailed list of debts, proactively contact each person, clearly explain the circumstances, and propose a specific repayment roadmap. Even if you can only repay a small amount each month, sometimes your honesty and effort will create trust. Trust is the most valuable asset you can pledge when your hands are tied. In this period, set aside ego and hollow pride. If you need to deliver goods work as a shipper, serve others, or do manual labor to earn money for daily meals, then do it with the pride of someone saving themselves. Do not be vain. No job is lowly. Only laziness and cowardice are shameful. After stabilizing the minimum standard of living, the next step is to upgrade your weapons. Where did you fall? Stand up and learn right there. Why did you fail? Was it because your financial knowledge was weak, or because you lacked a sharp professional skill to compete with others? Spend at least 3 to 4 hours every day studying like a madman. In the internet age, knowledge is free, but discipline is priceless. Learn cash flow management, learn sales skills, learn a new technology or a new foreign language. Do not study vaguely. Study to become an expert in the smallest niche the market needs. Turn yourself into a high-value entity such that others are compelled to pay for your skills. At the same time, purify your network. Stay away from those who only complain, from old friends who only invite you to drink, to forget sadness. Find ways to connect with people better than you people with discipline and positive thinking. You do not need their money. You need to learn how they think and how they operate. Observe and learn from those who have fallen and successfully stood back up. A change in mindset leads to a change in actions, and a change in actions brings new results. When you start earning income again, do not rush back to the old lifestyle. This is when the rule of accumulation must be applied more harshly than ever. Apply the formula income minus savings of at least 30% to 50%. Only the remainder is spending. You must live below your income deliberately. This accumulated amount is your capital for revenge. Accumulate every small coin as if it were your lifeline. When you have a certain amount of capital, start investing in safe and small opportunities first to retrain your sensitivity and judgment. Do not rush to get rich quickly. Do not all in on a single order, because haste is the greatest enemy of those recovering from failure. Persist with your plan day after day, month after month. Persistence is not doing one great thing once it is doing small, correct things thousands of times. Every step now requires caution and calmness. You will see cash flow gradually grow, credibility gradually recover, and bigger opportunities will appear. At that point, you are no longer the person you were a few years ago. You are an upgraded version, someone sharp enough to see through risks and strong enough to seize opportunities, protecting your family in times of poverty. The ultimate goal of accumulation and escaping the abyss is not only for yourself, but to take care of your parents, your spouse, and your children. When you hit bottom, you understand how great the pain of your loved ones is when they have to watch you collapse and cannot do anything. Accumulate, so that no matter what happens, your parents still have medicine when they are sick. Your wife does not have to stay up at night worrying about your child's tuition, and you never have to fall into humiliation because of lack again. Engrave the image of your loved one's hardships into your mind as motivation whenever you want to give up. A man's real success, or an adult's real success, is not measured by how much money they have in the bank, but by how solid a support they can be for the people they love in the hardest times. Money at this point is no longer lifeless pieces of paper. It is love, responsibility, and honor. When you have enough finances to protect your family, you truly understand what peace is. Never let yourself fall into a situation where you must choose between morality and daily bread because you were financially unprepared. Hitting bottom is a brutal but very fair test. It eliminates the weak, the lazy, and those who only blame circumstances. At the same time, it forges true warriors. If you are in the abyss, remember you have nothing left to lose, but you have a whole world to win back. The scars you carry after this miserable period will not make you uglier. They are the most honorable medals proving your will to live. Never forget the lessons about people, about accumulation, and about self-awareness that you learned in the coldest place. Turn pain into strength, turn humiliation into motivation, and turn regret into... You will not just crawl out of that hole, you will fly up from it with wings stronger than ever. This world does not owe you anything, but you owe yourself a bright and decent life. Stand up. Brush off the dust of failure. Keep your sharpness in mind and begin your rebirth journey right now. The future belongs to those who dare to walk through hell without flinching, and you are that person.